Hey, my name is Joe,
And I'm Mary Beth.
and this is the best of Gen X.
We are in our 40s.
And we're siblings,
We'll talk about adulting in a world so different from the one we grew up in,
so excuse us while we save a generation.
one episode at a time.
Let's go.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mary Beth.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great. You know why?
Tell me.
You know what day it is?
May the 4th be with you.
Very nice.
Is that what you were going to say?
It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Do you think that's annoying?
No, not at all.
I kind of do.
Do you know what I really think is annoying?
What?
Derby.
Have you ever been in
I've
person?
never been.
I've never been either. It's kind of crazy because we live so close.
I know. I just want to say I'm really glad it's over. My husband is really into it. I'm not a gambler. Josh is a gambler. I would say, what is the day before? The Oaks?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Oaks and the Derby, Josh he transforms. He turns into like the Wolf of Wall Street. So he walks around with his booklets and his pad and
He's
his
all
pencil.
in. Yeah. I'm not in like that.
With his earpiece in, having really loud conversations in the house, pacing all day. F word, every other word.
Has he always been like that?
Yeah. But I'm glad I don't have to deal with it for another year.
Yeah. Well, at least he doesn't like pay attention to all the other like small races that happen throughout the year. Or does he?
No, but Oaks and Derby, I don't want to be anywhere near him. So I just kind of go into my little cave and wait for it to be over.
Yeah, I think, I could be wrong, but I think Oaks is the 2-year-olds that are planning, could be potential Derby race horses in the next year. I think
You know what?
Is that not how it works?
I don't care.
Oh, I don't know. So I'm being told by the studio execs that I'm wrong.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so okay. I thought I heard that once upon a time. But no, I don't really get into it. I mean, I'll go to a party here and there, but I didn't go this year.
Right on. We have someone who is desperate to answer this for us
Okay.
before we introduce her.
Okay.
The Oaks is girls. They're fillies.
Oh, the Oaks is,
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now quiet you.
yeah. Pretend like you're not here.
Well, Joe, you're looking well.
Thanks. You too. that was unexpected.
You walk around looking good and don't expect people to tell you you look good.
That was unexpected. Thank you.
I
didn't quite know what to do with that information.
You didn't pay me to say it this time.
I didn't. That wasn't even scripted.
Well, okay, so we sort of consider today's episode as a bit of a second installment to one of our previous favorite episodes, Your Mom and Other Insults. Mm-hmm. It's episode 11. If you're new to the show, you've got to go check that out. While that episode was about memorable insults of our generation and not about mothers, we were still recording at our parents' house at the time, so Mom joined us in the second half, where Joe and I faced off in a rip-roaring, mud-slinging contest of your mom jokes. 'Twas fun.
It was very fun.
But we didn't get the chance then to record her thoughts about some of life's most perplexing issues. So as a special treat, we've invited her back to talk about Mother's Day, TV moms, the art of motherhood, and what it's like being our mommy in what I'm certain has been her life's greatest joy.
Joy.
Welcome, Mommy. Get off your phone,
Welcome.
woman.
Yes, I was trying to look at the Oaks. Yes, Oaks are girls. But,
We made her doubt herself.
well,
Oh my gosh.
they can run in the actual Derby, but the Oaks Day is all girls. It's fillies.
Okay, somebody once upon a time had told me that, so they were wrong, so I'll blame it on them.
Well, the girls can run, but they have to be 3 years old.
Do fillies ride in the actual Derby?
Well, girls, it can be any sex in the Derby, but
I
they
was
have
gonna
to be
say.
3 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
But in the Oaks, it's all girls.
Okay.
I was going to say,
hey,
'cause
listen.
that'd be pretty sexist.
Listen, like I said, it's not like I'm a derby enthusiast. It's not like I go to derbies, so I'm okay with being wrong on that. I would be really upset with myself if I had like a bookie catalog in my back pocket wearing seersucker, drinking Nick Juleps every month. But I'm not, so I don't. Thank you, Mom, for keeping me honest.
And welcome, by the way.
Are you gonna
Put your phone down?
Are you gonna say hello to everybody? Or?
Hello, everyone.
Well, this is going off swimmingly.
I'll put my phone down. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Do you even want to be here, Mom?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm glad we picked this topic.
Oh, and also I have been to the Derby. Thank you.
How many
Twice.
times? How many? Okay, you just answered my
Twice.
question. Thank you.
In the infield.
I cannot see Dad going to the
I
infield.
can't either.
I was not
Did you
with
drug him?
I was not with your dad.
Oh,
So this was pre 1975.
Yes, very pre.
Very pre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Dad's deal.
No.
The infield.
He would never go. But I went with other people.
So the only reason, and Mary Beth, you might be similar. The only reason I guess when I was younger, like in college, it wasn't like I wouldn't go to do like the infield or the Oaks or whatever, but I was always working. So like when my friends were always off on Saturdays, I was always working like at nights and stuff.
yeah, I always worked the Derby.
Yeah, so I never got to, and I guess I could have asked off, but I just didn't do that.
Didn't cur.
Didn't care. Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, let me get back to today's
Oh, we have an episode. That's right.
We have an episode to do. So, right, next Sunday is Mother's Day. So we thought it was a perfect opportunity to have her back on and ask her some actual meaningful questions.
Yeah.
Get it
I'm
on the
excited.
record.
I'm really excited for this because we have had Dad on before.
Right.
This kind of just rounds it out
It does.
because we've had our sister, we've had Dad. It's your turn for your special day. Well, I tell you what, Mary Beth, you have anything else?
No, let's get going.
I think we should first start off with some Mother's Day facts.
Yes, tell me all about this holiday because I am guessing it was created by a mother.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hit you with some knowledge.
Because, as we know, mothers are the most selfish creatures on the planet.
You guys are. I mean,
Me.
Yeah, for sure. So, Mother's Day became an official U.S. holiday in 1914. It was signed into law by President Woodrow Wilson. Did you guys know
One of the
that?
worst.
Did you think it was like older than that?
I thought it might be. Yeah.
I kind of did too. It is celebrated in the United States on the second Sunday of May every year. So it can be on a different date. But in 2025 this year, it falls on, like we said, May 11th. There are more than 100 countries around the world that celebrate or recognize Mother's Day on their respective dates.
Really?
Yep. Over 100 countries. You think that's pretty high, huh?
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah. There are more phone calls made on Mother's Day than any other day of the year, with approximately 122 million phone calls being made.
I would expect that number to be higher, but I do think it's cool that it's the highest number of phone calls in any given day. In any day of the year?
Yeah. Any other day of the year.
You know,
Thus
it's because
says
all the mothers,
Google.
why you never call me?
Yeah.
You ungrateful bastard.
Now, this one is cool. The earliest Mother's Day celebrations were said to be in ancient Greece. The Greeks would have spring celebrations in honor of Rhea, or Rhea, however you want to, R-H-E-A, probably Rhea, the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and generation. So that's when it was said to have been the earliest noted or documented celebrations.
Oh, those silly Romans.
And the last one that I have, this is how it came, the name or the moniker mom, quote unquote, comes from babies. Did you know this?
No.
The first thing most babies can vocalize is the ma sound, which is why in almost every language the word for mother begins with the letter M or some iteration of the ma sound.
Interesting.
That kind of cool,
Very
huh?
interesting, yes.
That's it. That's
Ma!
Ma, the meatloaf. I don't know what she's doing back there. That's Wedding Crashers.
It reminds me of the dude at Comic-Con who was wearing the spiky, what were they? They were diamond encrusted
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
boots.
Yeah.
Ma!
Yeah, I was wearing some kind of go-go outfit, like a silver sequence outfit.
Yeah, and a cape.
Yeah. Okay, so those are my quick hitters, quick Mother's Day facts.
Interesting. Thank you for that, Joe. Thank you for that hard-hitting journalism.
I worked hard at it. Trust me.
Well, I wanted to take a moment before we get into our Q&A. I thought it was a good time to talk about our favorite TV moms from the 80s and 90s. We've talked about TV shows in the past, and so there might be some overlap, but we won't spend too long on this segment, to avoid any repetition.
Before we get into that, can I say something that I thought was interesting?
No.
I can't? Just joking. So our friend, Andy,
Yes.
I was having a conversation with her and her husband, Joe, about this. And she said something that I thought was very true, but I never thought about it. She was telling her kids that we were going to talk about our favorite TV moms from our era. And her kids were looking at her like, what? Like they didn't get that concept. And Andy said something so true. She looked at her oldest daughter and said, yeah, because you guys didn't grow up watching sitcoms.
Right.
So they had no context on what I was even talking about when I said, oh yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite TV moms from the 80s and 90s.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't grasp that. Like, what are you talking about? And that's so true. It's like kids that age,
They didn't.
they don't grow up on the sitcoms like we did.
I'm not even sure there are sitcoms.
Yeah, and if they are, they're probably some kind of weird Wizards of Waverly Place type, But these are like the real,
Oh, yeah.
the well-knowns. I just feel like you and I have had an episode about it before where it's like that was like the golden era of
Oh, absolutely.
TV and movie.
And it reminds me of what I've talked about in a previous episode where I said a friend of mine was talking about her kids watching Home Improvement, and they kept going, what is that noise? It was the laugh track.
Right.
And they did not know what that was.
Right. So.
And that hit me hard, Joe.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting that she said that. I thought it was true that she said that. And I also just kind of felt grateful that we got to grow up, watching those kind of things and leaving an impression that it did.
Just like our conversation with Tony Danza.
Oh, yeah. Our friend Tony.
Friend Tony.
Our friend Tony.
We sat and had a little chit-chat about that.
Yeah, we were talking life, talking society, today's problems.
Well, I have my top 5.
I already know of at least one that's on yours. And you know what? I purposely put that one on mine just so we could laugh about it.
We probably have many of the same.
Yeah, we might. Ladies first.
I don't know that this is in any particular order. Maybe it is now that I look at it. I'm going to have to say number 1, Roseanne. Doesn't get better, in my opinion, than Roseanne.
Yep, and I don't have her, but I thought about her. So what was
Well,
what was your thought process on that?
She just seemed real, and her show was, I think, a reflection of real America.
Right.
That I guess we see the American family through rose-colored glasses most of the time on TV and in movies, but I liked that her show was very honest, and she's just freaking hilarious. She's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree with. I agree
to this
with that.
day, I'm a fan.
Yeah, because even when you go back to our parents' era, we had the June Cleaver, sort of.
Yeah, put it there; it won't vibrate anymore.
Yeah, right.
For those listening at home, our special guest will not turn her phone off.
Right.
I did turn it off.
No, you didn't.
No.
It's on silent mode.
Okay, just vibrated.
As I was saying, our parents kind of grew up with that June Cleaver type persona with the apron and the
pearls.
Everything pearls and prim and proper. And it was like Roseanne was just like you said. It was just, that's really what, if you were to just walk into some stranger's house in the 80s and 90s, that's the kind of mom you would probably encounter versus a particular like image that they.
Well, and they were just like a working class family.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a good one. I had Joanna Kearns, Maggie Seaver from Growing Pains.
I almost put her on my list.
So you didn't have her, huh?
She didn't make the final cut. I replaced her with someone else, but I did like her.
Yeah, she was a good one, I thought. What else you got?
Super cute. Number 2 on my list is Sophia Petrillo.
I told Andy and Joe you would have Sophia on there. I called that one.
Picture it. Sicily, 1922. A beautiful young peasant girl.
Yeah. I remember I think I was much older when I realized that she was younger when they filmed that show, but they made her look older.
Yeah, Golden Girls is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I mean, she's great with the comebacks. She's making fun of everybody. And she's just super cute and I guess precocious. Would that be a good word for her?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to skip my number 2 because I'm going to throw you a bone, let you bring it up.
Uh-oh.
So my number 3 is Katie Seagal, Peggy Bundy.
I have Peggy Bundy.
We both have Peggy Bundy. Yeah, she was cool. I liked her character. She would show up with the big hair and the tight clothes with the leopard print pants and she was.
Yeah, she'd wear those short cigarette pants with the high heels and
right.
the big belt in the middle.
Yeah. And I just always loved the kind of the dynamic between her and her husband in that show. It was really cool.
Yeah. Peggy Bundy. And we've seen her.
And we have seen her at Comic-Con for sure.
My next one is Claire Huxtable.
That's why I skipped my number 2. I knew you had her on there.
She is one of my faves.
Yeah, she's one of the GOATs, really.
She really is. Super cool-headed, very smart, very talented. I love the episodes where she sings. A great voice.
Attractive.
Very a smoke show, as I've said before. But there were moments where she lost her cool, which are just legendary. Like when she yells at Elvin for being very chauvinistic about bringing him a cup of coffee. She's like, Elvin, if you don't get it together and drop these macho attitudes, you ain't ever going to have anybody bring you anything, any place, anytime, anywhere, ever.
You know, she used to make these facial expressions that sometimes would remind me of Grandma Doris.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that is a stretch.
That is a stretch. But I had to say it. You mentioned Home Improvement. I had Jill Taylor. Patricia Richardson is her actual name.
I did like Jill Taylor.
Yeah, she was cool. I liked Patricia Richardson.
I also liked the chemistry they had together.
I did too. Yeah, I think they fed off well. Fed off each other pretty well.
My final one, this was tough. Like I said, the Seaver mom was going to be on here, but I had to go with Mary Jenkins from 227.
Oh, okay. So was she also Florence on?
Yes, that's Marla
the Jeffersons.
Gibbs. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I watched 227 a little bit.
I loved that show, and she and Jack A were so funny.
Oh, Jack A was good.
Sandra.
And who was the other one? Regina.
Regina King.
Yeah. Yep. So she was.
So she was my number 5.
Okay, mine was Elise Keaton from Family Ties.
Yeah, you liked her?
Meredith Baxter, I did like her.
Yeah,
her and Joanna Kearns kind of were a little similar, I guess.
Yeah, and that was right in the sweet spot
right.
when we were really little.
Right.
I did like her. I do have an honorable mention.
Ooh.
She wasn't technically a mom, though.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a house mom.
Oh.
Can you guess?
A house mom. Oh, goodness. No, I'm drawing a blank.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you
Different
have
Strokes. Or Facts of Life, sorry. That was Miss Garrett.
Miss Garrett.
Good call.
Yeah, she was a favorite.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Something a little zany about her. Very wise. And cute.
Yeah, she kind of sometimes reminded me of Aunt Sharon.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good one, Mary
Yeah,
Beth.
so house mom. And, it wasn't until I looked up all of these that I realized there were a lot of shows in the 80s and 90s of single dads. Like, mom's not in the picture for whatever reason. And it really had me scratching my head. Like, what was that about? Blossom, Different Strokes, My Two Dads. There's more than that.
Full House.
Full House, exactly.
Actually, Lori Loughlin was going to be on my honorable mention.
Really?
Yeah. Rebecca.
See, I wouldn't count her because she was like...
Well, she had the twins.
Right, but she wasn't the head of the household.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you can pick Miss Garrett.
I can pick Miss Garrett.
And I can't pick Becky.
Nope.
Becky, what was her last name? Katsopoulos or
something.
Yeah. But she was cute, though.
She was, yes.
And then she ended up getting in some kind of like college enrollment scandal.
Right,
for kids or
she was
something.
like cheating for her daughter to get her into school, whatever.
Yeah, as if she needed to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for chiming in there, Mom.
I didn't know I was supposed to.
Well, I mean,
But I will
listen.
say this: I don't recognize half of those women, so
Oh,
Really?
I must have been working while doing dishes
don't
and
remember, like,
laundry and
Family
stuff while
Ties and
y'all were
Gro-
watching sitcoms.
You don't remember like Family Ties and Growing Pains and all that stuff?
Not really. I didn't watch it.
Well, who were your favorite TV moms?
I think the only one I watched, I was going to say before you even got started, Claire.
Oh yeah.
I watched that and I always thought she was the perfect mom.
Yeah.
Right. She really had it together.
She was the total package.
But I guess I was out there working myself to death while y'all were enjoying
While
your...
we were at home eating Little
enjoying your
Debbie's snacks and
sitcoms.
watching.
Well, why don't you cry about it? Mom, you are our Claire Huxtable.
Yeah.
Aw.
Would you feel like answering some questions?
Oh, sure.
Are you going first or am I going first?
No, ladies first.
Okay. I don't see a lady.
Oh, come on.
Okay, Mom.
Yes, I'm ready.
When were you born and where?
I was born May 21st, 1956 at New Albany Hospital.
And what memories come to mind when you think about growing up as a young child?
Well, about my first memory, I think, was probably when I got my tonsils out.
Really?
I don't really remember a lot of things at a young age, but that was pretty traumatic. And then when I went to kindergarten,
When did you get your tonsils out?
I was probably right before I went to kindergarten. Probably 4.
So what do you think about? Like, what do you remember about that?
Oh my gosh, it was awful. They put me under and I could hear them talking, but it was like I was asleep, but I could hear people talking and it hurt and my throat hurt and I threw up on the way home and I told my mom, I said, you didn't tell me it was going to be like this. So it was pretty traumatic, but
Oh, man.
And if I know your mom, she said, "Oh, quit your crying."
yeah, I'm sure. Shut up.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well,
bronchitis.
yeah, so Mom, what are the most, even though you just said you don't remember a lot when you were young, what would you consider were the most formative memories or experiences that you had as a child or teenager, I guess, that led you to be the person that you have become today? And there's got to be some kind of memory or experiences that you can lean on.
Well, I remember playing a lot. We played outside a lot with my neighbor kids. We played house a lot. And
Were you the mother?
I was always the baby. Freddie was the mother and Marcia was the wife.
Your brother was the mother?
I'm sorry. Don't tell him I said that. My brother was the father. Marcia was the
We
oldest.
won't tell anyone, don't worry.
Yeah.
Marcia was the oldest. So she was the mother. And then Cheryl and I were like the babies.
What was the age? I guess I was always under the illusion that you and Marsha were the same age. What was the age difference?
2 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
She was Freddie's age.
Okay.
And I had a lot of good experiences playing in the neighborhood, and playing, riding bikes, and
Running the streets.
running the streets. Really, yeah, kick the can, and
Kick the can.
there wasn't anything to do because we only had one television, and my parents kind of monopolized that. So you had to be entertained. You have to go outside and play. So I remember a lot of that. I don't remember a lot of stuff before I was 4, but I remember, playing outside with all the neighborhood kids, and that was a lot of fun.
And that was the same house that we grew up on until we were about 7 or 8-ish
yeah.
by the railroad tracks.
Yep.
So a lot of the same independence at an early age that influenced how you mommed.
Yes, yes. I basically was kind of, I guess when you grow up with a mom, you do the same things. I guess you kind of look up to them for what you do. So she made me work a lot. So I made you all work a lot.
Right.
But I thought that's the way it was supposed to be.
Based on my childhood, I'm guessing she was a bit of a Nazi when it came to dust or dirt or grime.
Was she real particular? Like if people were coming to her house, was she real?
No, she's particular every day. So it didn't matter.
Oh, it didn't matter.
Oh, no. No, she was particular. You could walk in that house anytime and it would be spotless. But I cleaned a lot. Freddie and I did a lot of the yard work. And I, helped with dinner and I did the dishes and on Saturdays, I helped her clean, and I did most of the cleaning. She stayed in the kitchen and did the stove and the refrigerator. But
I can't envision Uncle Fred doing much inside
no,
stuff.
I did all the inside.
So that's
he
how you
did
guys
the-
divvied it up.
Outside, and then we didn't have any kind of equipment. We'd be out there pulling. You didn't pull weeds. You got you did pull weeds because we didn't have the little shears or anything. You had to do it with your hand all the way. Remember that long sidewalk?
Yeah.
We had to trim all that up and down the sidewalk. And my dad had 3 flower beds, 2 out in the
Well,
front
of course he did.
with little bricks around them, white bricks, and then
Grandpa was particular
One-
as well, but about his yard and his
one
garden.
along the side. So we had to move the bricks and pull the weeds. So yeah.
But you
Sounds
love
like
that.
great fun.
Yeah, but that's how I thought it was. I didn't know any different.
So then, when you became a mom, you were probably like Mary Beth said, you were like, I can't wait to have kids and put their asses to work.
That's right. I said I can't wait to have some free time. But
I want to have
Having a
kids so I
kid,
can have
having
some
kids
free
was a
time.
break.
I also learned from her the pinch on the arm like you all had, all the way to the bone when we
That's
were
hard
out.
to imagine.
Hey,
Yeah.
trust me, you don't have to explain what that is.
Yeah, when we were out and we were misbehaving, my mom took my arm and just pressed it all the way to the bone, which means cut it out now.
So that's who we have. To
So
thank
I
for
learned,
that.
I learned a lot from her,
Yeah. Okay.
And as much as I think that it was really hard being her child, I figure I did pretty well.
You did.
You did very well.
So as much as I thought it was awful growing up, I realized that I kind of came out pretty good
Yeah.
compared
Yeah,
to
I
some
think you
other
did. And also, I'm grateful. I mean, I hated cleaning when we were younger, too. Jen and I had to divvy up the chores, and Joe did the outside work. But honestly, as I was getting older and then, branched out on my own, had my own place, and to my friends out there, I don't scope out your house and look for these things, but I notice, when you go to other people's houses, don't you notice like the dust on top of the toilet, the baseboards, and I notice those things. For better or worse, it means we keep our houses pretty clean and tidy.
tidy.
You
So thanks
stress
for that.
Yeah, you definitely stress
Yes.
the importance of that.
Sorry.
No, but it's important because I don't think people appreciate I don't think people appreciate enough the connection between your physical space and your mental space. And so creating an environment where my husband can come home from work every day and first of all, look forward to coming home every day because he, as a cable guy, he's in and out of people's houses all day long. And so he sees the worst of the worst and there are always dishes in the sink and it's just a mess. And so he comes home and feels like it's a real sanctuary. And, I definitely get that from you and you got that from Grandma. I also remember growing up, anytime we would get out the old photo albums and see pictures of you, Grandma, anytime there was a special occasion or a dance or something like that, and they were taking pictures of you. You once told me that Grandma really just took those pictures to photograph her house.
Well,
She'd have you stand by furniture.
She got new
really?
furniture. And I had my cheerleading uniform on when I was in 6th grade. And she took a picture of me in front of the buffet, in front of the the cabinet.
Oh, it's like the same outfit, just different locations?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I saw one where you were in like a red dress and your hair was up, looked like you were going to a school dance of some kind, and you had to place your hand ever so gently on the kitchen table. I guess that was new.
Well, that was my 7th grade Christmas dance. And yeah, she liked, I don't know, maybe she just wanted to get, 2 for 1. Here's my daughter and here's my new dining table.
Oh, and by the way, that's awesome.
Here's my beautiful daughter going to a Christmas dance, and oh, look at my new
Yeah.
bedroom suit.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think you grow up and you're kind of modeling your own mother. When you start to be a mother,
Hey, you know what? I'm starting to make the connection.
See, it's all connecting.
Okay, so we went out. We took you all out to Ruth's Chris for your 50th wedding anniversary. Congratulations, by the way.
thank you.
And about a week prior, you were getting really excited and you texted me and you said that you wanted Mallory to take family pictures of us. And you you actually requested that we do it at my house. Why? Because I have the nicest backdrop.
Nice.
So there is a little Doris in you still.
Yes, yes.
Because I have
Look
the nice
at my
porch.
family in front of this beautiful home.
Also, it wasn't really about us. It wasn't really about our pictures.
Okay, Joe, you're up. Or
Well,
no, is it me? It's me.
Well, I mean, she did mention a little bit about what she learned from her mom, right?
Well,
So-
what is the most important lesson you learned, do you think, from your mom?
Oh gosh, consistency. Once you say you're going to do something, you have to follow through with it, because you couldn't say please, please, please to Doris. I mean, if I wanted to do something and ask her something, you don't say please, please, please. It was like, please, no. That was the end.
That was it.
Yeah. So I think consistency, you can't let kids get away with something one time and then expect them to do it the right way the next time.
That's good.
Oh.
So she stayed firm on her.
Yeah.
I'm connecting so many dots here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about how mom and dad just seem to know how to do it. Mm-hmm. I guess it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
El Capitan.
Well, I think even in my teaching career, I use the same thing, because I would tell my kids if they were getting out of line, I'm going to call your mother. And I did call them that evening, because you have to be consistent. So you got to mean what you say and say what you mean.
We gave you guys too much credit. It was your mother.
Yeah, it's my mother.
No, I think that's great because
Well, I never talked back to my mother ever.
well,
Ever. Loud until,
Yeah,
she
we
only
didn't either.
died 2.5 years ago. So
yeah, we didn't either, but
I didn't raise my voice to her, and I didn't talk back because I knew better.
yeah, and
And you all didn't either.
well, newer generation parents can disagree with us or not, but that's not the way it is now.
No.
The kids are talking
It
back,
isn't, but-
raising their voices. It's crazy.
Well, I think that our Gen X, I think that we grew up with the sitcom where you sit your kid down at the end of the half hour and apologize to your child for raising your voice. And I just wanted you to understand that blah, blah, blah. And I think that we overcorrected because we wanted that same kind of face-to-face, like more gentle. I don't know. Am I wrong? I feel like we craved.
No, we talked about that in another episode. You're absolutely spot on.
And I just think that in our effort to give our kids what we didn't get, we overcorrected
Yeah,
quite
it was-
a bit.
yeah,
And by the time my daughter was 15, she was calling the police on me. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we love those sitcoms, it started getting more like feelings based
And it was,
know,
and it was...
or feelings focused or whatever.
Right. And like, it's okay for kids to express themselves, even if it means yelling at or talking back, or God forbid, being a Becky Connor. And, you know,
Awful.
yeah.
Well, I'd just like to put out there, y'all never raised your voice to me. Thank
No,
you.
we didn't.
And that was because I couldn't raise my voice to my mom. So.
And also because we had a 6'3.5" foot tall military father as well.
Who was just intimidating and scary just by existing,
Yeah,
just by being in the same room.
right. Well, so
Mom, you were equally as terrifying.
Oh, sure.
yeah, and the pinch. I mean, so effective, so effective. So okay, so on the other end of that, what do you feel like was the most important lesson that you learned from your dad, our grandpa?
We have not talked much about Grandpa.
We haven't. We need to do a whole episode just on
He
that.
We
was-
could.
My mom used to threaten us, wait until your father gets home. But he never did a thing.
That's so a Christmas story.
Yeah. So it because he never did anything, we were so scared of him because, the way she said it, you just wait till your father gets home.
Oh, just the unknown, like
Yeah.
gave you so much anxiety and
Yeah.
The sky was turning pink, waiting for my dad to come
Yeah.
home.
at the time. for
And
my
he
father
really
to come.
never disciplined us at all. It was all Doris.
Yeah.
Was that just because he was working?
Probably.
And she was quite the disciplinarian. I would imagine he didn't have to. By the time he came home, things were pretty much handled.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can kind of envision your all's household was Grandpa come home from a hard day's work in his white T-shirt and his grandpa jeans, and she has her she has the dinner on the table waiting for him. And,
Absolutely.
And then she has the recliner or the chair ready for him to watch TV. Like, that's kind of how I pictured it.
Yeah, pretty much. Food had to be on the table when he got home. You know, Papa Fred.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mostly Mom. He really didn't say much, you know, or discipline us much.
Yeah. So she took care of the house. He took care of the rest, kind of deal.
Yes.
But he was very involved, wasn't he? He was very family oriented.
Later, when I was younger, it was come home, eat, you know, watch TV. There wasn't really a lot that we did, especially with me. He did a lot of sports with Freddie, but I was kind of on the back burner. But
You were a
I will
girl.
have to say, once I had kids, he was around me all the time because
Well,
he wanted
that's what I was
to
going
see
to
the
say.
kids.
I was like, if it wasn't when you were younger, it's definitely when I was, because he came
Yeah.
to everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, they came to everything. Every
Yeah.
function.
Yeah.
From National Honor Society induction to, you know, your games.
Well, he didn't go to any of my cheerleading stuff, so
Really?
no,
Well, I mean, he went to the basketball games, I would think.
I don't think so.
Did he not really?
Now, when Freddie played basketball, he'd go, but it was just, we didn't really have a close relationship because he did everything with Freddie.
He was so involved in that.
Yeah.
Well,
But
the
he
boomers.
he wasn't mean either. I mean, he didn't discipline us, so I wasn't afraid of him or anything when I got older, but he did
Was he
everything for
fun?
me.
Do you feel like he was fun?
Did he joke around a lot?
No.
No.
He didn't joke around a lot.
Serious, huh?
No.
Just taking care of business.
Yeah, taking care of business.
Grandpa was funny enough without joking. Grandpa
Oh.
had us in stitches growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Just
he
by
was
being
unintentionally
himself.
funny, yeah.
He didn't really get fun until after I had kids, you know.
Yeah, he was all about the grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really the only side we really saw of him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's interesting to
So
hear.
it's hard to imagine him just being disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like it was kind of like when I was working. I just worked, came home, cooked dinner, put some laundry in. I feel like I wasn't really there for you all either. But that's what Dad did. But see, Mom stayed home until I was in second grade.
Right.
And then she started teaching. But
I don't know. It feels like you were there. Like it
I
feels like
know,
you were
but
involved.
but at the same time, I guess the point I was trying to make earlier is that we grew up. We were the latchkey generation. So when I say give our kids what we didn't get, it's not as if we were lacking or felt lacking growing up, but because we spent so much time alone, it's like we wanted that closeness with our kids that we, you know, because our moms were busy. Kids of our generation, our moms worked. They came home, they made dinner. There was like no real time for,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think
no quality time.
Yeah, I don't think our generation like required so much parent participation like the kids today require.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, yeah.
kids require your attention to look what I'm doing or do this with me. And
Yeah.
we just didn't.
And I'm like, you know, growing up, like Mallory always wanted me to play with her. Of course, she played very well independently, but at the same time, there was just so much more expected from the kids, and we obliged because our parents didn't play with us.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we may have, like I said, overcorrected.
and
Now they're 20, and we have to make their doctor's appointments for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
I always knew my dad loved me, but he was always working. And then on the weekends, he did his yard, which was a major all-day thing because he was a yard freak. And then he coached baseball, and he went fishing. So I wasn't really involved in all that.
Yeah. Did he ever ask? Well, I know this is a Mother's Day episode, but we're trying to get kind of to the bottom of your upbringing and stuff. Did he ask?
We're trying to figure you out and what went wrong.
Trying to round you out as a person. Did he ever ask you to go to any of that fishy stuff, or was it more of like, I don't want to do that, Dad, thank you, or did he just never even ask you to go do that stuff?
Well, I heard a story one time. He used to go hunting when I was younger, and I lived by a cornfield. And my mom said I would beg him to take me hunting.
Aw.
Yeah. And so one day he put me up on his shoulders, and I thought we were going hunting, which I'm sure.
He pretended.
He took me in the cornfield, walked me around the cornfield, and pretended he was taking me hunting.
He's probably like, this is what I do, sweetheart,
Yeah.
when I hunt. Oh, that's
How
cool.
cute is that?
Good for him.
I've never heard that story.
But no, I didn't go fishing and all
See,
that.
this is what we're trying to find out.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Are you picturing this in your head,
I
Joe?
am. Yeah, because we used to live by that
How
cornfield.
right? That I know exactly the cornfield you're talking about and how cute
Yeah,
Grandpa
that's
Fred to
awesome.
have you on his shoulders and pretend.
See, we're trying to figure
Yeah,
out why
and
you became what you became.
And also, my mom said I always asked Dad if he would marry me. So,
Aw.
Which is
Will you marry
which is so
me?
interesting because of what you just said 5 minutes ago. You were like, we really weren't that close, and he
well,
was
this
more
is when I
involved
was
with
a
Freddie.
little and I couldn't remember.
Yeah. I got you.
Well, you know what they say about girls with, distant. When their fathers are emotionally unavailable, they turn into strippers. It just happens. Like they crave the father's attention. What can you?
I did.
Mom, we promise not to talk about your years of stripping.
Yeah, your pole days.
We're gonna leave that out.
Mom's like, make sure you tell them you're joking.
We are kidding.
Yeah, she did not dance for dollars. Thank the good Lord. All right.
I think you're up, bruh.
No, I asked her about her dad.
Oh, is that me? Mm-hmm. I'm losing track in this wonderful conversation.
That's okay.
Before we go to break, Mom, we wanted to ask if your parents were still alive today, what would they think of our podcast?
Oh, gosh. They adored you all. They would think
Go
it was
on.
wonderful.
Hey, go on.
I mean, they adored you all. Dad was just so proud of, Mom and Dad were so proud of you all, so they would love it. They would absolutely love it.
Who do you think they were most proud? No, I'm joking.
I know that they would. I know what Doris El Capitan would sit me down and say
I know
enough of
what
the
she was-
cussing.
Yes.
And you know
was-
what's funny? Like I mentioned at the top of the show that Josh was saying like F on Derby Day and the gambling and all this, the bets. It gets really intense, and I might sound like a hypocrite because I do say the F word from time to time on this show.
I don't say that word. I don't like it.
But here's what's weird. I cuss more on this podcast than I do in my day-to-day life. I mean, it's weird. I don't know. Something happens. I press record, and I just...
Is it me? Am I driving you to that?
I look at your face.
God, I would too.
And I
would
just wanna drop
F
F-bombs.
this. God, I would too. If I had to look at me all day, I would too. Sickening.
I know. But I think that they would be proud. I think they would enjoy it.
Absolutely proud.
I think that they would make a thing every other Sunday of sitting around their device
Their device.
and listening to our podcast.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
They'd probably come to your house and listen with you.
Oh, yeah.
They'd get that
Absolutely.
excited.
And don't forget, we have their picture where they're perched up on my snack
look
table.
at
So
them.
they're here with us.
We have a picture of
I
Grandma
miss
and
them.
Grandpa staring right at us
They're on
in the
top of my
studio.
snack table.
So cute. Well, let's take a quick break because our mom is a fidgeter and we're not letting her fidget because it will mess with the audio.
That's right.
Mom, we're going to let you fidget.
Hey, listeners, do you like judging people as much as we do?
Then judge us.
To submit your criticisms and complaints about our show, you can reach us at gotohell@bazinga.biz.
For all other comments, questions, or suggestions about future episodes, drop us a line. Send us a text from our website at thebestofgenx.buzzsprout.com and click on the link just above the show notes.
Or email us at thebestofgenx@gmail.com.
All right.
And we are back. I hope everybody had a good break.
We sure did.
Yeah. Always entertaining.
Mom got all her fidgeting out. No, actually, we just gave her some whiskey. So
That's right. Yeah, I refilled her cup.
she's a little more subdued.
That's right. Her eyes are getting a little droopy. This next segment should be fantastic.
Oh, you guys are going to have so much fun.
Yeah, Mom's getting sauced.
Before we get back to our interview, Mother, I'd like to share some listener feedback and give you some country updates. First of all, we are now, last time we updated this, we were in 19 countries. We are now in 21 countries.
2 additional countries?
2 additional countries, South Africa and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Welcome to the party.
Nice.
I know. Yay.
That
Clinkety
is-
clink.
that is
Cheers
the-
to you.
Yeah, that is the first I've heard of that.
South Africa, man. I know a lot about you. I watch a lot of shark documentaries.
I love their accent.
You got a lot of shark action down
A
there.
lot of shark action. Johannesburg.
And Bosnia and Herzegovina, so awesome.
Is it still called that, by the way? The Herzegovina part? Mm-hmm. Is it?
According to Google,
Okay.
and Google knows everything.
We got to trust Google. Okay.
So wanted to welcome those to our growing list of friends around the world.
Man, that's exciting.
And we got a Facebook message. Our last episode actually got a lot of positive feedback. It was a really heavy topic. We talked about forgiveness. I do want to mention real quick, when I was listening back, when we kind of were about to close the show out, I asked the question, if we could wave a magic wand, what would you forgive? And I got emotional again because I was talking about the COVID people and the abuse a lot of us took online. I just want to point out, I was not hurt by being called any names or anything like I was emotional because of the effect that the extended lockdowns had on my kid. Like, I just want to make clear, I give 0 fucks. Call me what you will.
Sure.
Really,
the people
don't.
who really don't give 0 fucks are the one that have to make everybody know that
Well,
they don't.
because I was crying,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, it sounds like I was all wounded, but no, not about that. Bring it.
So 0 F's were given.
0 F's were given. But okay, so we got a lot of positive feedback from that episode. So I want to say thank you to those who reached out. In particular, got a message on our Facebook page. Go to it. Says, hey guys, just listened to my first podcast. Enjoyed it! ! Looking forward to listening to more. And that was from Keith M. I won't say his last name. Class of 98,
Yeah,
bro.
so he was actually a high school classmate. I actually went to school with him all through grade school. And we ended up working in the same company for years. He's probably still there, and he had a pretty exciting role in that company. And we connected on lunches a couple times. Great dude.
Right on. You know, as soon as I read the message, I knew exactly who he was. Like, you know, he didn't have to remind me. I knew exactly. Just kind of an unforgettable name,
Right.
first of all, but I could picture him. I mean, I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, our classmates really got along with him well because he just always had a good demeanor about him.
Yeah,
He was always
yeah.
very calm and collected and just kind of wise.
Beyond his years. Yeah.
Type guy. And he's built from what I used to see when I was on the book, he has built a really gorgeous family, and his wife, I think they live out in the country, so they have some land, and he's doing really well in his career. So I'm really happy for him.
Yeah,
So
I was happy. We were happy to hear from you, Keith.
Yeah, that's really cool. And
Thank
I think,
you.
Yeah, and I think some of my classmates from school, they have like a reunion page of some sort, and I talked to somebody that kind of is the admin of that page, and I think he kind of spread
Probably
the word.
saw it there.
Yeah, so that was cool. I was glad to see that they were.
Well, Keith, I hope you continue to listen and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Keith.
All right. So, do you want to begin or should I?
Are we doing the fun part?
Well, we're doing the questions. We've got some more questions.
Oh, I apologize.
Joe's jumping ahead to the joke
Sorry. I'm
portion.
just I'm so excited. No, I will certainly kick us off.
Okay, but let's get through this part where we learn more about our mother so we can get on to the joke.
Right.
I am quite boring.
She thinks
I'm
she's
not bored.
I'm quite happy. Everyone wants to be me. I will give you $1,000 if you hop on our Facebook page and tell me what line that movie's. No,
Or what movie that line is from.
I'm getting a little sauce.
You are. Easy there, kiddo.
If you can't speak, a podcast probably isn't a good idea.
Right. Okay. Now, I will certainly start. Okay, so Mom, were you scared to become a parent?
Wait, you didn't preface that correctly. Mom, you got knocked up really young.
Okay, I was trying to be... Yeah. This is a kid's show. No, I was joking.
Yes, I was scared.
What were you scared of?
I didn't really babysit any infants
Well,
when
no,
I was
no.
younger, but I was scared.
Well, but I mean, Mary Beth's kind of half joking, but let's be truthful. You were 18?
19.
19?
19.
Okay, so I mean, I think about that now. It's like my daughter's 18, going on 19, and it's just like I can't even fathom her having to like mentally prepare for something like that. But then back then, I think that was just more the norm. You know, people started families early because that's just kind of what you did. It seemed like anyway.
I was scared. I really was.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't had a lot of experience
Not
with
with
babies.
the infants, no.
So you got, okay. That's interesting. So
I
like
was very
cousins
scared.
or friends that had kids or family friends, you didn't,
No.
did you feel like you took to children? Like, I mean, I guess you weren't around them a lot, you're saying, but did you have anything like inside of you that was like, I felt like like you were drawn to?
Did you want to be a mom?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
Yes,
getting at.
definitely. I wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to have children, but I was scared. When it came time, I was scared because I really didn't have any experience with it, even relatives, or I just didn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, but do you feel like your mom and dad like prepared you at all for?
Well, my mom helped a lot
Well, she helped.
when
Yeah.
Jennifer was born because, they always have so much experience when they've already had kids. So she helped me a lot.
I'm sure you appreciated that then if you were
Oh, yeah.
scared.
Speaking of lack of experience, I'm sorry, Mom, the story has to be told. So we have talked about how you and Dad had to move overseas. At the time, you were pregnant with me,
Right?
and Jen would have been about 2.5. Okay, so Jen comes home from daycare in the first couple of days, and you said when she got home, she would just eat everything in sight, just ravenous. And you couldn't understand why she was so damn hungry.
Okay, that we have to go back. That was in Illinois.
Oh, I thought that was in the
okay.
Philippines.
No,
Okay.
it was in Illinois because I got a job at the credit union. And
I never knew
Never
you
heard
worked
that.
at a credit
Never.
union.
First time I've heard that.
yeah, that's why I was picking her up at the daycare. I worked at a credit union and she would be starving. I mean, all the way home, she wanted to Pepsi Day, which meant a hamburger because that commercial, have a Pepsi Day.
Jennifer.
Yeah, Pepsi Day. So,
Aw.
yeah, and so when I went to the doctor, see, she wasn't even 2 yet.
Okay.
I took her to her 2-year appointment, and he said, "Well, how's she doing with using a fork and a spoon?" I go, oh, well, yeah, okay. Hadn't even given her a fork or spoon. I just kept feeding her.
Right.
I didn't know.
And so you
I started
learned,
giving her a fork and a spoon.
didn't you learn? Didn't they tell you at the daycare that when it was time to eat, she
Right,
would just
right.
sit there and not touch her food?
yeah, like
Because she didn't know how to
wouldn't
feed
eat
her.
her soup today, and I'm like, soup.
Aw.
Yeah.
You didn't know that story?
I didn't know that story.
I know, it breaks your heart, right?
Aw, poor Jin Jin.
Poor Jin Jin.
Mom's like, whoops.
I love that story.
Well, see, I wasn't around my mom at that time.
Right.
So all these little milestones that you got to teach them how to hold a spoon and
I have always loved that story. I mean, it breaks your heart for Jen, picturing her at daycare, watching all the kids around her eat, and she just didn't because she didn't know what to do. And it's funny, and it's real. It's like there are so many things about motherhood they just don't tell you, right?
right. And we didn't have Google. We didn't have anything back then. But she did.
So how
I
would you
give-
know? You know,
Yeah, I gave her hot dogs and stuff she could pick up with her finger. But when it came to cereal and anything that she had to eat like that, I fed her.
yeah.
Aw. So,
Well,
it
it
was
was-
like a lot of trial and error.
It was
seems
more
like.
efficient, you know.
Yeah.
You just do
Get
it,
it
and
done,
then when
yeah.
it's time for them to do it. So I've always loved that story. But if it makes you feel any better, I have a similar experience. So when Mallory was a little over 4 weeks, I went back to work, and for about that first week, coming home, like picking her up from the babysitter, coming home, I've got her in her little bouncy seat. Or her little rocking seat or whatever it was. And I would be in the kitchen cooking dinner and she would just be wailing. And I just didn't understand. And so after that first week, we're on the phone and you said, well, what time does she go down for a nap? And I go, what do you mean? Like, what time do I put her down for a nap? Like when she's tired, she sleeps. And she was like, no, honey, you need to put them down for a nap. They won't just fall. Babies don't just fall asleep.
Right.
Like the reason I didn't realize that yet is because newborns do that. Newborns will sleep most of the day. And when they're tired, they will just fall asleep. You don't really have to do much. But you know, in month 2 and 3, they start to get a little fussier and they fight it. They start to fight the sleep. I didn't know that. Because the first 4 weeks of her life, she just went to sleep. I didn't know I had to put her down for a nap. And my life totally changed after that. Because when I knew when I got home, I'd give her a bottle and I'd put her down for a nap. But so we learn.
Yes, we do. I'll tell you something even funnier that I did to Jennifer.
Oh dear.
Well, when I brought her home from
You dropped her on her head.
No.
We've always known this.
When I brought her home from the hospital, my mom would take the baby lotion and put it all over her body.
Yes.
And then baby powder on top of that, right? Well, when we moved to Illinois, I was still doing that. And the people at daycare said, "Oh, she smells so good." I was still putting lotion 2 years old, all over her body and baby powder all over her body.
I did that to Mallory for years.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I just think at a certain age, you don't, do that.
Yeah, like
I mean, she had like white legs going in there because I had the baby powder and stuff on top of her.
yeah, I did that for years too
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
because that's what I learned.
That's what I said. A lot of trial and error type stuff. It seems
Yeah.
like.
Poor Jennifer, my guinea pig.
Yeah. She
What's
turned
your-
all right.
What's your proudest memory of being a parent?
Oh, gosh, proudest memory. I don't know. I can't think of a proud memory.
We have
January 13th. No, just joking.
No, proud memories about you all or about me
Like
being
your proudest memories of parenting. Like
Yeah,
where you're just
obviously
like-
you were our parents.
Well,
so-
proudest memory would be that you all were so well behaved, and when I took you places, people say, "Oh, they must be, they're so good." And remember at the restaurant they said you kids were so good. I was proud because that I taught you how to be in public, and
yeah,
We
because
were very
I've seen
well-behaved.
I've seen quite the
Well-behaved.
opposite.
I remember going to grandma's church one Sunday and we were in the Sunday school and the kids were just like running
Crazy.
wild. And the three of us were sitting there just watching it all happen.
Right.
And then the lady told mom when she came to pick us up, they were so well behaved.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like we were just not used to kids acting
because
like
you
that.
don't
guys were
really know you're doing anything right until somebody says, "Gosh, your kids are so well behaved." Either that or they're starving.
And Mary Beth and Jennifer were probably like in dresses, and I was probably like in a polo tucked into my pants, and everybody else was like running around in dingy
You probably had
t-shirts.
a bow tie.
Yeah, probably had a suit of some sort. Probably looked like I was ready to go to Derby.
So I guess that's my proudest moment was, people saying how well behaved.
Oh yeah. That would make me feel good as well.
It's kind of like seeing the finished product of like how you, what you were teaching us and showing us and telling us or whatever. So what, if you had to come up with 3 words that would best describe your approach of being a parent or to being a parent, what would those be?
3 words.
3 little words.
Yeah, of being a
Around my
parent.
doorstep. What'd you say?
I said of being a parent.
Yeah, your approach to being a parent.
Compassion. Love.
Mary Beth was like, speaking of home improvement.
My dog ears.
Well, I mean,
Oh, after you pinched us to the bone.
Right.
Yeah.
After. Got it.
well, I mean, you automatically, when you're a mother, your kids are just it.
Mm-hmm.
So just be loving. I mean, I guess a lot of people, they have kids and maybe don't, are not happy they had kids, but showing love, showing compassion, when you're hurt or you're upset. Another word, I guess, I would say is, I don't know, it's just fulfillment. You have these little people that you created and you're just so in love with them. And I don't know.
Well, consistency, I think, was
Yeah,
what you mentioned
consistency.
earlier.
You have to be consistent. Otherwise, kids will never take you serious. In a serious situation, you can say, you have to be quiet. Don't touch anything.
Right.
And then at home, you're like, they're breaking things. You just have to be consistent. But
You
I
can't
think,
threaten and not follow through.
right. But I think as a mother, it's like fulfillment showing I created this person and they're so, I love them so much. And you know how I am because you kids know I'll do anything for you. But
That's true.
that's true.
Well, no, that is very true.
So, as in terms of like career or life choices, what do you think are the most important things our children should be focused on at this point in their lives?
Career?
Like, just whether it's career or just life choices in general, what should our children be focused on?
Well, career, you have to do something that you love. Is that what you're talking about?
Just either, like, just life in general.
What would you tell your kids, my grandkids? Yeah, do
Like,
something.
what do you think they should be focused on right now?
Well, finding something they love to do and getting paid for it. And they've always got something to fall back on, Let them know that if you try something and you don't like it, you can try again. Like if they go into something that they don't like, they can do something else. But you're always there for them to pick them back up.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
You know what I tell them?
What?
I tell them, and I do tell them this. They would own up to me telling them this. I say, spend as much time as you can with your grandparents, or communicate with them as much as you can, because just life is so short, and I don't want them to ever like have regrets about not, because they do talk about you guys a lot, and I just always worry. I don't want them to get to the point where it's too late, where they're like, man, I wish I would have done this more. I wish I would have reached out more.
I know, like I have
went
so
to
many
their
regrets.
house more, so I always stress that to them.
Yeah, that's so funny because I got these moles burn off on my face today, and they're all brown, kind of crusty. But
That's
I know,
I don't know how that fits, but
it brought up my great grandfather on my dad's side. It was Max's father. We went to see him in Scottsburg, and he had all these brown spots on his face. So I know that's where I get it and my dad get it. And I thought about him because I remember as a child looking up at him thinking, oh, what are those things? And now I have them. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I really didn't know him that much. We maybe went there 3 times a year to Scottsburg. That's where they
that's
lived.
why I say that. I mean,
And then I immediately thought, I probably won't know my great grandkids because they don't have kids as early anymore. And I was probably 9 or 10, and my great grandfather. Well, I'll tell you what. I was pregnant with Jennifer when my great grandmother died, so I was 19. Well, I'm not going to see your kids at 19 or 18. I won't have that. And my mom had it, but I won't have it. And I thought that's sad to think that my great grandchildren won't know me.
Yeah, that is different.
But I thought about that today because of these. I thought that was my great grandfather.
Yeah, that was a good tie-in, Mother.
Yeah. My daughter's pretty wild, so you might get to see that happen.
But I just want to let you know that I do consciously make an effort to tell my kids to try to reach out, try to visit, try to take advantage of it, because I feel like we didn't see Dad's parents as much. Doesn't mean we weren't loving to them, and we did visit on occasions, but we saw your parents all the time. They would vacation with us, and they lived close, so I guess it was just second nature to like spend time with them and love on them and message them or talk to them. And I just want my kids to do that without me having to probe them to do that. And I think for the most part they do okay with it, but I know it can always be more. I just don't want them to have any regrets.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're getting some type of communication from your children. I know this isn't like on my list of questions, but it just made me, because we were talking about regrets. Do you feel like you have any regrets of like your
Mothering?
situation as a parent, mothering?
Yes.
Like, is there anything you feel like you should have or could have done different?
Yes.
That you think about a lot?
Yes.
What?
I felt like I wasn't present. I was, coming home, getting laundry, doing, cooking, and I don't feel like I sat down and really talked to you all or did things with you all. I regret that a lot. Yeah. Because I was kind of like Grandma. Everything had to be perfect. And so on the weekends I would clean and, do the yard. I did most of the yard. Dad mowed, but I did all the, trimming or all the pulling the weeds and all that stuff. So I felt like I wasn't present.
So yeah, so probably drove you crazy. It's like the constant pursuit of like maintenance and upkeep and perfection and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. And I know that at one time Steve Stewart came in our house when you all were little. He goes, you can't even tell 3 kids live here.
Right. Oh, I remember you saying that.
It's overwhelming that I am like that.
I know, same. If I find myself getting too nitpicky about things, I'll just remind Josh, like, it's my problem, not yours.
Right.
Like,
Well, at least you do that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a lot of people do
So
that.
it's when you all, maybe on your podcast or something, I've heard you say how wonderful we were, how lucky you were. And I'm thinking, I get these accolades and I don't feel like I deserve.
Well, I think,
any.
at least for me, it was like, I say that because we always had what we needed. We always had fun. We always laughed, and we always hugged, kissed, said, I love you. Like, we were never without that stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, that goes a long way. That just,
Yeah, and I don't think that you were any different from most of the parents our
No.
age.
I mean, it's not like I'm bitter because Dad didn't play Legos with me, but like when it really mattered, you guys did it right. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and we were also just, our world was changing, our society was changing, and we were, the days of a one income household were
Yeah, for
almost
sure.
just a memory.
Yeah,
and
that's a good
both
point.
parents had to work. So,
Well, what 3 words would you say best describe who you tried to be in life, and how would you want to be remembered?
3 words. See, I'm not good with words. Right,
well,
Mary
okay.
Beth?
Well, how would you describe
Me?
yourself, and how do you want us to remember you?
Yeah.
Loving and how would you want to remember me? Fun to be around.
Wait, let me jot this down for your eulogy.
You googly.
See, these are hard for me. How would I just that you love me and remembered how I was easygoing and
That's true.
Well, so the first part of the question is 3 words that best describe who you want to be in life,
Who you've tried to be.
Who you tried to be, rather. I mean, do you feel like that measures up to what you tried to be?
yeah, easygoing. I'm not argumentative.
You're a pleaser.
I'm a pleaser. I don't like
Conflict.
conflict at all.
Hey, I don't either.
I don't like it.
See, I got that
I
from
can't
you.
handle it.
Mystery solved.
Mystery
I
solved.
can't handle it. That's just me. I'm just
Well, I definitely have your DNA because I do not
Pleaser.
I don't like chaos. I don't like drama. I don't like all that stuff.
Hey, well, let's be fair. I mean, I'm not afraid of conflict. I don't like it.
I avoid it at all cost.
I don't avoid anything that compromises like my peace or happiness and my family's peace or happiness. Like, I don't seek it out and I don't like it, but I'm not afraid of it. I think you two are kind of afraid of it.
I am.
I don't feel like I'm afraid of it. I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't like
I think you're afraid of it when it comes to women. You're not afraid of it when it comes to men. Like, you would have no problem walking up to somebody and being like, punching them in the face if you were defending
That is correct.
someone. But it's the women who frighten you.
Yeah, I guess so. There's probably truth to that.
What are the 3 best decisions you've ever made?
Your dad,
Aw.
That was quick. Good job.
college, and oh gosh, decisions. Having children.
I was going to say us.
Gosh.
Well, I didn't really kind of make that as a decision.
Right,
It just
right.
kind of happened. but-
Mom's like an honorable mention. Oh, my children.
well,
Just teasing. I'm just teasing.
We were all accidents. She didn't really plan that. So she can't really take credit for that as a decision.
And I think we've covered this like in conversations before, but you were okay with 3, or did you want?
I think she was okay with 2.
no.
Hey, easy.
Your father wanted a boy, so I was going to keep going until I got a boy because and he'll say he didn't. He'll say that was no big deal. But when I had Jennifer and my mom was in the waiting room with Dad, and the doctor said it's a girl, and Joe goes, "Are you sure?"
Oh my gosh. Dad.
So,
Shame on you.
but he said when I was pregnant with you, he said, "Now if this is a girl, we'll wait until she goes to kindergarten and we'll try again for a boy."
Wait 5 years. Good grief.
So yeah, because you didn't know what you were having.
Would you?
back
I
then.
mean, let's just play the hypothetical game. What if you would have had 5 girls first? Would you have kept
well,
going?
that's a different story.
You would have drawn the line.
I probably would.
Actually, your pelvic floor would have drawn it for you.
I know the priest when we got married said, "I can just see you all walking down the street with your 6 kids one day." And I looked at Joe and I said, "Nope, nope."
There's a story of a lovely lady. Okay. What are you most proud of in life? Can be anything.
My family.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that because we're here with you?
No, I mean, isn't that what everybody
You'd be
wants to
surprised.
achieve?
You'd be surprised.
To have.
Oh no, we've messed up, Mom.
I'm
We've got some doozies.
Yeah.
proud of my family and what we've created and what you all have become, and all beautiful, sweet, independent children. And
What if we weren't that? Would you still be proud?
Probably.
well, I think every mother would be, but that's what I'm most proud of.
And do you think that's because of you or Grandma Doris? Just teasing. I'm teasing.
Yeah, Papa was proud too.
He
Oh.
was
Probably one of the most proud dudes I've ever met.
Yeah.
in
of
my
his
life.
family.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my family.
You what?
I'm proud of my family.
Yeah.
I think I did a good job, with all the decisions I made along the way, and you all came out great.
Did you, at any point when we were growing up, did you worry?
Yeah,
That
you
it-
always worry. Yeah, I worried.
Well, I guess I mean specifically, like, was there any like moment or experiences or moments that happened in our life growing up that you were like, ugh, like worried that we weren't going to go down the right path, or worried that we weren't going to?
I really didn't have a lot of trouble with you all. If anybody, it was you, with your, finding out things that you would stay all night, and
Oh man.
but that's
Teenager
just
Your
stuff.
lack of
normal.
direction,
Yeah, teenager
you
stuff.
know.
Yeah, but
And look at you now.
I was a little worried about
Yeah.
that part of it, but
I know you're really worried about me after my divorce.
oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I think every family has things that happen that you worry about your kids. But
Yeah.
And see, just to your point earlier, you say you're so proud of us, and I think that sometimes we don't feel worthy of that. But
think about your own kids.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, you're proud of them.
Yeah, I remember little drive-by conversations you and I would have in your kitchen when I was in college. Some of the stuff you would ask me or tell me, and I was like, oh, like to myself, I was like, yeah, she's worried about me. Like, I'm apparently doing something or some things that she's scared about.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the social stuff. I'm talking about like, you were like, you never bring any books home. Are you okay in school? Or,
Yeah.
like you were so worried about what I was getting done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But fortunately, I was really blessed not to have, with you all going to school, I didn't have to worry about you all doing drugs or, any of that kind of stuff that some of our friends have put up with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So I've been very blessed.
We talked about it. You've heard it. I just never wanted you guys to be disappointed.
Exactly.
And that's just, so whatever you did to teach that,
Yeah.
I'd not say I wouldn't do some screwy stuff with my friends, but at the end of the day, I just didn't want you guys to be disappointed.
I felt the same way, which is why I got very good at hiding things.
Right. Yeah.
I felt the same way growing up. I didn't want to disappoint my parents, but mainly, I think even on the day my mom died, I think all through my life, I wanted to make her proud, and I felt like I never did.
Yeah.
I know she was proud of me, but Freddie was so perfect.
Well, but I still think there's a good reason for people to, in their nature, not want their parents to be disappointed in them. Something has to either be happening or have happened in a good way that makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
Like meaning you and Dad had to do something consistently to make us not want you to be disappointed in us.
Yeah.
So there had to be something there that sort
Well,
of
we
like
just respected them.
shaped that attitude.
When you don't want to disappoint people you respect.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's
and
a
I
compliment.
never wanted to disappoint my parents either, but
Yeah. Dad gave me a silent treatment a couple times when I made a bad decision, and that was worse than anything he could have ever done.
right.
He didn't have to raise a hand to me because when I walked through that house, if he acted like I wasn't even there, that killed me. So. Yeah.
Speaking of Dad, what message do you have for your spouse that you want them to keep in mind about you and your relationship together?
Your dad?
Mm-hmm.
Just give me whatever I want. I'll be fine.
That's right. Damn straight.
Is that how you guys lived your marriage? Just do whatever I want.
No.
Happy wife?
Happy life.
I feel like I've watched you two enough. You guys seemed like you were really good to each other, like gift giving and affection and all that kind of stuff. Laughing. I saw you guys laugh together a lot, which I always really loved that part because it taught me like how valuable it is to have another half where you can actually just truly be a friend with, like somebody to laugh with and cut up with. And you guys
Yeah.
always do that. And we saw that as kids. That really makes an impression on a kid, seeing their parents laugh and joke together and stuff.
Right.
More than I think people realize.
I want Dad to know that, you know, I love him. I love him, and I don't know.
Dad, if you're listening, the mystery is solved. She does love you. Because he was asking me about that the other day. He's like, I wonder if your mom loves me. I'm just teasing. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Did you see my face?
No,
Like,
yeah.
Really?
Mom got real scared there for a second. We were hitting golf balls. And he kind of turned around and goes, do you think your mom loves me? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'll ask her on Sunday.
no.
Oh,
Just
my goodness.
just to know that I'm sensitive, I'm sweet, and just keep doing what he's doing.
50 years, you're doing something right.
Yeah, because I don't like to argue. We don't argue.
Well, there you go.
That's good. Okay,
Final question, Joe.
Mom, who is your favorite child? Now listen, I want you to feel like this is a safe space, and you can answer as honestly as you would like to answer, and it
Speak
won't hurt Mary Beth.
your
Hey,
truth.
and it won't hurt Mary Beth and Jennifer's feelings at all.
Speak your
I
truth.
don't have a favorite child.
Oh, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Well,
That's not what you
okay,
told me.
you only have, hey,
That's not what you told me at
Hey.
your house last week.
hey, you only have one child. You have two. Who's your favorite child?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
He gets
You
it.
can't say.
Yeah,
because-
he could. He just doesn't want it on record.
Because you love your children equally. I mean,
for sure.
if somebody comes in and says, I got to kill one of them, which one do I kill? You know?
Oh, dear.
I mean,
Yikes.
This took a turn.
All right.
No, I'm just saying, you love them equally.
No, I get that.
But you love different things about each one, I guess.
I just didn't want you to feel like you would hurt Mary Beth and Jennifer's feelings if you just told
Answered
me.
it honestly.
I mean, we're all
Hey.
all friends here.
If you listen to the Comic-Con episode, you know the answer to this question.
Yeah,
Hi, baby.
I do. Which I have thought about that recently, and the
Have
reason
you?
no, listen, the reason I thought about that was, I promise you, she doesn't answer the phone like that every time, do you?
No.
Most of the
No.
time, so I just think the timing was perfect for that joke because most of the time when I call, she just goes, "Hello." That's it. But the
I'm
time that I'm
telling
in my
you,
truck,
I knew you were going to Comic-Con.
yeah, but the time I'm in my truck when you guys are right there,
It's too
"Hi, baby,"
beautiful.
It was amazing.
I'd rather remember it the way I do.
Jennifer called me the other day, and I go, "Hi, sweetie."
Did she notice? Did you
I
get
don't know.
credit?
I don't think
Mom
I
just
did.
shrugged her shoulder. I don't know.
I would have given you credit if you answered that way.
Before I answered, I told Dad, I go, "It's the kids."
Oh, man, listen, they gave me a fresh can of shit about that.
I'm sorry.
It's all
It was
right.
too funny.
Hey, I don't care.
It was too funny because it confirmed what we already knew.
No.
Well, I think it's time to insult Mom.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's give it to her real good.
Okay, so in our first installment of Your Mom and Other Insults, we rattled off a bunch of these. I hope that there is no overlap. Even if there is, they're still going to be funny.
I mean, I feel like we have enough that we're about ready to just hit her with.
Hey, we are just going to like crank these out back and forth real quick, lightning round style. But I just hope that there aren't any that we did from the previous show. I didn't recognize any.
I didn't either.
But
so I feel pretty good about
I
it.
feel pretty good about it too.
Okay.
All right.
I always do ladies first.
Ah,
I'm gonna. I am gonna be a little. I don't know if pompous is the right word, but I feel like I'm gonna get you here.
I think mine are better.
Okay, so we'll have a laughing judge.
Okay.
Who makes you laugh the hardest? Here we go.
The laugh-o-meter.
No, but listen, you have to be honest. Like with the favorite child thing, you have to be honest. It
Yeah, right.
And it won't hurt Joe's feelings
won't hurt my
Yeah.
feelings
when you tell him the truth.
Right, right. When you eventually tell me that hers are worse, I'm not gonna be upset.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Your mom is so ugly that when she joined an ugly contest, they said, "Sorry, no professionals."
I do have that one. F. Actually, that was my second. Did you hear me? No. That was my second.
Okay.
Okay. Your mama's so fat when she got on the scale, it said, "I need your weight and your phone number."
That was done. Your mama's so ugly, she makes blind kids cry.
I think Lila said that one. Your mama's so fat, I took a picture of her last Christmas and it's still printing. That's the best laugh so far.
Your mama's so fat, when she asked for a waterbed, they put a blanket over the ocean.
Your mom was so fat that when she went to the beach, a whale swam up and sang, "We are family, even though you're fatter than me."
Your mom was so fat, the last time she saw 90210 was on a scale.
Your mom was so stupid, she put 2 quarters in her ears and thought she was listening to 50 Cent.
Your mom was so fat, even Dora can't explore her.
That's pretty good. Your mama's so poor when she goes to KFC, she has to lick other people's fingers.
Oh, damn it, I had that one. Crap and a cracker. Your mama's so broke, she chases the garbage truck holding a grocery list.
Your mama's so old when she was a child, rainbows were still in black and white.
That one.
We already did that one?
That's a repeat.
From
That's
the
a repeat from last year.
No.
Your mama's so broke, the ducks throw bread at her.
I've seen that one. Your mama's so old, she was a waitress at the Last Supper.
We had that one. That's a repeat.
I don't remember that one.
Your mama's so fat, she's on both sides of your family.
Your mama's so old, she knew Mr. Clean when he had an afro.
Your mama's so fat, when she sits on my face, I can't hear the stereo.
Your mama's so fat, she wears a sock on each toe.
Your mama's so ugly, even Hello Kitty said goodbye.
Your mama's so fat, when I pictured her in my head, I almost broke my neck.
Your mama's so ugly, they filmed Gorillas in the Mist in her shower.
Your mama's so fat, when she skips a meal, the stock market drops. I'm definitely winning so far.
Oh, God. Your mama's so ugly, I told her to take out the trash, and she moved out of my house.
That's my favorite so far. Your mama's so stupid, she studied for a COVID test.
Your mama's so... Oh, wait, that you already said that one. Yeah, okay. Your mama's so broke, a tornado hit her house and did $10,000 worth of improvement.
Oh,
Your mama's so dumb, she sold her car for gas money.
Your mama's so nasty, when she dropped her toothbrush in the toilet, you had to get a new toilet.
That's so funny. Okay, your mama's so fat, when she wears high heels, she strikes oil.
Is this supposed to make me feel better?
Don't speak, we're making fun of you.
Oh, my God. That's all I got, man.
Your mama's so hairy, Bigfoot takes pictures of her. All right, the other two I had, you already said.
Oh, I think I won.
No.
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 I don't know. My last few were pretty funny.
No. Step back, woman.
Come on, the tornado one? The toothbrush
That was actually,
in the toilet?
the toothbrush one was really funny.
Taking the trash out?
I think the toothbrush and the trash one was my favorite. That was so funny.
Good times, man. Mom, it's been a joy.
I'm sure.
It's been a pleasure.
Just like, raising us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait for us to stop recording and just bitch at you for everything bad that you ever did. Scarred us.
I got lucky. Lucky.
Oh, you did. Hey, you did.
I hit the kid lottery.
You did.
Aw.
Hey, you did.
I sometimes wonder how I did it. You guys turned out so good. I don't know. I'm just so proud.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mama.
Mom. Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
You're the best.
We love you.
I love you too.
And thank you so much for listening to another piece of the Gen X experience we're saving. From past to present, from TV to reality, our generation's moms are better than your generation's moms. And now it's been immortalized in the annals of history. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the Best of Gen X wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. We love you, Mommy.
Love you, Mom.
Joe, always a pleasure.
Duh.